Hello. Happy Thursday. I got the date right finally.
Say you got the day right, and that's impressive.
I'm usually a day off or a month off. Who knows? So we are here. I'm going to share this in a couple groups real quick, but we're here and we wanted to talk about virtual assistants, specifically about call center or inbound, outbound call virtual assistants, because like most of you, you probably have the same mindset or thought, like you've got to do it in the States. You got to have somebody in the office or else you're going to be getting Tom from India and nobody wants that representing your company. So we're going to try and break through that stigma, that thought process. We've got Ronnie. She's waiting in the background, going to jump on the phone with us or the call with us. We'll get to talk to her. You can ask her any questions you want. So I'm pretty excited. Angela, what do you got? Let me share this with
I'm excited too. So I'm super excited. Ronnie is one of our Rockstar warriors. And like you said, she's going to get to be on here. We're going to talk a little bit about, she does calls for you, both inbound and outbound. Like you said, so many people have the stigma that the voice is going to be crazy, that they won't be able to relate to the customers, to your clients, but she has been a rock star. And we have several rock stars helping home service businesses and different businesses bridge that gap. Be somebody that is dedicated on your team, that knows your culture, knows your team, knows your unique selling propositions and what makes you different, so that when clients ask questions, they can answer them and not just answer the phone and say, somebody will get back to you, but really answer the phone just like they were someone, knowing everything about your business. And I love what you say. And, when you miss those calls, it's somebody answering the phone. So you don't miss any opportunities on your leads. And oftentimes it's not just a person answering the phone and saying you'll get a call back, because then people are calling somebody else too, if they're not getting the answers that they want. So providing that touch, and then outbound calls.
And that was the main reason why we needed Ronnie. And we had another company answering calls for us after hours on the weekends. Phenomenal. They did great to at least answer the phone. But the problem was we spend the money on the lead. They find us on Google, Facebook, whatever it is. So then they call and then they put their information down with the call center. And then if it's on the weekend, we got to go call back on a Monday. On a Monday, they're not answering. They're busy. And we never got back in touch with them. So it's a constant cycle. We pay for the lead. We paid for that other place to answer the phone call. And then I paid for my team to make the phone call to not get that lead to answer because they went with the first company to answer the phone. So we're just wasting tons of money. And I finally said, Angela, can we do this? And then how is this going to work? Again, I had that doubt like most of you. And she said, we'll find somebody. We'll find a rock star for you, which they did. And now we're not wasting money on the lead. When Ronnie answers the phone on the week, well, we hired her in October. We'll talk about that later. But she answered the phone. She was able to schedule the appointment with our salesperson right there. And it wasn't, we'll get back to you and then schedule you. If she ever had any questions, we'll talk about that too. But it's been a phenomenal process since then. We got some people jumping on. So please, if you have questions, go ahead and ask them. We're going to ask you anything you want. And when Ronnie comes on, we'll answer all those questions too. We'll tell her, who her favorite company to work for is. Obviously, KPR Pro Wash and Patriot Elimination. But
and Unique Genius.
Yeah. Oh, and Unique Genius, of course. Yeah. And Aaron, exactly. VA should be treated like any team. And that's what it is. It's part of our culture. We love them. And we treat them like they're here with us within the States. What's the best way to set up them, take your calls? Do you link them to your phone number? Yeah, Brandon, you want to get like a VoIP, Ring Central, Vonage, something like that. We use Vonage so that it can ring over in the Philippines. It can ring here in the States. It's kind of like, I'll have Ronnie go through the process because she's so much better at that. So let's do that. We'll bring Ronnie in. All right, let's give her a round of applause. Ronnie, yay. Woo!
Hi.
Ronnie, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Awesome. I'm so excited to have you here. You and I jumped on a call the other day and I was giving you a task. And I don't think we talked, but maybe once in the very beginning when when we hired you, and I know Liz deals with you or works with you all the time. She always speaks great things. I always ask about you, and she always talks highly. But like just you listening to the questions and like answering the questions and asking for feedback, like I got so excited for the task that I was giving you. I felt confident that you're going to go ahead and just absolutely crush it, and you did. So I'm so glad to have you on the team, and thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure.
So why don't you, I'll let you do some talking for a second. If you would, just tell everybody when you started working with Patriot Elimination, and how that process worked from your onboarding and working with Liz, like the communication back and forth, the things, the tasks that we had asked you to do, and like the transition, how long it took you to step into that role and start doing the things that we needed you to do.
Right. So I was hired about October 25th, if my memory serves me right, with the date. But it was definitely late October when I was hired. And I spoke with Liz, who actually had I think she really had a good eye as well with speaking to who they really wanted to join with on the team. And she asked me if about my experience working, my previous working experience, and what I thought about how or what I could bring to the team. And honestly, it was the feeling that I had then was definitely the same as now. I'm a bit nervous. I want to make sure that I'm sharing the right information. And yeah, it was a smooth transition from when Angela initially hired me with the Courageous Mind agency, the Unique Genius. I'm sorry. It was a smooth transition from when Angela initially interviewed me to when Liz interviewed me, and Liz was the one who hired me. I mean, who trained me as well, and it was about 1 week of just communication through Slack. Um, it was easy overall. It was really easy. Liz was very patient, and I was able to tell her like how my work ethics were, and she was also very open with how she wanted me to do my tasks. She just laid everything down on me, and I made sure to hit the targets or the requirements that she wanted, to make sure that I'm also bringing everything that I can to the table. It was
Yes.
everything was all good.
And we ended up hiring you a little bit later than I really wanted. You said the end of October. November is just absolutely crazy, as you probably saw as you transitioned to the call. So for you to come in during our craziest part of the year, Liz to successfully onboard you, I believe you went through Vonage and you were listening to calls, previous calls, and then you shadowed Liz as she made phone calls. And then you said like within the week, the end of the first week, beginning of the next week, you were answering calls yourself, correct?
Yes, I was.
And that's
Um,
that's incredible to be doing that in less than a week or right around a week and virtually over the Philippines. So that transition of just having a good layout or what's the word, executables for you to follow, like listen to the calls. All right, now listen to me take the calls, and now you do the calls. And then if there's any questions, I remember you just message Liz through Slack, and she'd be able to answer the questions for you, or I believe you would just transfer the calls back to her.
yeah, it was easy. Basically, also remember we were very excited when we were trying Vonage because again, I'm here in the Philippines, and it was my first time installing that app as well. The first time we used Vonage, we were so excited when it worked, and we were like we were like congratulating each other at that time. And then when I started taking the calls and audios coming through were clear, yeah, I was able to like answer a few questions because again, it was only like a week into onboarding, and I had taken calls. But for the like more complex question, it was easy for me to just like Slack Liz, inform her that while I was on the phone, I inform her what my questions were, and she gets back to me quickly. It was either she gives me instruction on how to respond, or she tells me to transfer the customer to her. So yeah, everything was easy.
Yeah, and like I said, that transition during our busiest time of year, it was incredible having you there because of the struggles we talked about earlier in the call in this chat. Was like we were paying this other company to answer the phone calls, and they weren't doing what we needed them to do because they were answering calls from multiple companies. But having you committed to Cape Fear Pro Wash and Patriot Illumination, like our company in and out now. There still might be some questions that come up because I mean, Lord, there's still questions I don't even know anymore, but. You have that resource of Liz to be able to ask her fairly quickly and get an answer back to the customer rather than, all right, great, we'll take your information and call you back in another day, something like that over the weekend. So you are truly instrumental in like us able to schedule more estimates throughout the season than the year prior. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much as well for taking a chance on me. I remember actually, if I might say, it would be early in September when I first expressed interest in joining Angela's team. And I had my doubts at first, but Angela definitely had also great insights of, wow, it seems like I'm trying to bring myself up in this one, but I would say Angela has also great insights on interviewing people that she would like to join on her team. When she reached out to me, like I think about 2 weeks after that, and was like telling me that she has a great client for me, and I was like, yeah, that would be you. And so I was like, you know what, Angela took the time to reach out to me and like take a chance on me, and it actually built my confidence and pride, and like making sure that I won't I won't be letting you guys down.
Oh, well, you haven't for sure. A little bit of that process that you talked about of how it works. So JC was a client at that time. Saying, this is what I need. This is the gap that I need filled. I want somebody that has a great phone voice, will be great with customers, and can problem solve, do all the things. So we take note of exactly what you want, and then go find a rock star. You wanted a rock star that would be a fit, both, I thought, with your personality, with Liz's personality, who Ronnie would directly report to, and be a fit in that role. That Ronnie has a great voice, is great with clients, and I knew would be great at that. So yeah, I did have to chase her a bit to get her back for you. And you were in a unique role at first. Most of for our U.S. clients, people work 40 hours a week, normal U.S. hours 8 to 5. But when we started in the beginning for seasonal, Ronnie was willing to do some out of the box hours. I think you worked Eastern 12 to 8, and then Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, it was like we were so thankful for you to be able to do that for us, because that's what we needed. And we knew for it to be successful, we probably needed 2 different virtual assistants to do that. But you stepped up and you worked, I think it was 8 to 4 Saturday and Sunday. And then during the week, the 3 days during the week was 12 to 8. So like huge savior to us to be able to do that, and such a success during that process.
So yeah, and then you guys did exactly what you're supposed to do in your training. When people ask questions of how do you train someone to do calls, and that's it. Have them listen to calls. Hopefully you have ones recorded, like through Vonage. Let them listen, let them shadow, learn the language, and then it's, like, listen, do it with me, you do it and I listen, and then you just continue to grow and continue to be better. And Ronnie also does an amazing job of one of the things that I think provides the best communication back and forth with a client and their virtual team member is you have an incredible end of day report. And our team members all fill out for their clients and for us an end of day report that details, here's all the things that I did, but like, here's my wins, here's the things I struggled with here, and then speaking to the KPIs. And Ronnie, you just like told such great stories in yours. Like, you could see the impact of the clients that you saved, the calls that you were able to answer, whether it be, a potential lead, or then once you got into Christmas light season, people that had problems and really just wanted a voice on the other end with some empathy they could problem solve with them and let them know that, help was on the way.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody's watching right now, if you have any questions about virtual assistants, again, this is Ronnie. She's one of my inbound, outbound, amazing virtual rock stars from the Philippines. She's been an incredible asset to the team. I've had a lot of people talk to us lately about hiring somebody in this position. The concerns of, are they capable of picking up your company's, understanding your company, your location, your geographical area, working with your phone systems and things like that. And Ronnie, you just absolutely blew it away from the start. So love all that. Ronnie, if you would, what's up, Dallas? How you doing today? Mr. Dallas, met him in a member at the Hughes convention, and he's about to be a father here soon. So congrats to you, Dallas. Ronnie, the thing I love about Unique Genius is that when we get a virtual team member from her, you stay within her company, and then they provide services to you, support, and all those things. Can you talk about that experience? Because I know you got to attend a local regional meetup in December during Christmas. Just talk about the work environment outside of working with us and how that's helped you play a role in being successful with my company.
Sure. Working for Angela's a virtual assistant agency has been very great. I wouldn't say I have something to compare it with, but honestly, I wouldn't really choose any other virtual assistant agency at this. I mean, now that we're talking about that. Last December was, as she mentioned, was like our first time doing this, trying to build a culture in the agency. So we had a local meetup with other virtual assistants. And mind you, since I was new to the agency, I started last year in October. I really didn't know much of the other virtual assistants as well, but they have been very accommodating, very friendly. Um, it shows that it's like it's mirroring how Angela's handling her team basically. um i was I saw how she was very hands on with, especially with our weekly huddles. She made sure that we enjoyed that local meetup with the other virtual assistant. And overall, it was a great experience. It's like it's giving me an understanding of it's giving me not this idea of wanting to make sure that I grow together with the company, because Angela made sure to not just give us this experience of working for a great client, but also helping us grow outside the work environment. It's she's giving us this work life balance in an essence.
Love that.
And Ronnie has a secret hidden talent. Maybe it's not a secret, but in the Philippines, I think it is part of the culture how much people love karaoke.
It is.
So one of the things we do in our group chat and our whole big team is have a question of the day. And we have done that forever. And I just think it helps people get to know each other better. JC did the question of the day today of a dream place that you'd like to travel. And everybody just answers it in a chat. And there's just such great insight in getting little nuggets of getting to know your team. But Ronnie still has the prize for the best. So we take turns answering a question. You nominate a new person each day to ask the question. Ronnie did the best question of the day. Normally it's just a question that you can type a one-word answer or a small story. Ronnie had everyone perform a song. So everyone sent videos of them. And what was it? A song that describes Unique Genius. It's song.
It's like a song that describes the essence of the team. Yeah, and I remember I forgot the title, but it was the theme song of Shrek. Now I forgot the song. It's
I wish you had yours to play yours right now.
I know.
Yeah, but it was, yeah, it's like Rockstar, I think the title, but it
Oh
was
yeah.
the theme song for Shrek. So yeah, it's like you share a snippet, you sing a part of the song that describes um virtual, I mean, unique genius as a team.
It's so funny when JC, I showed him yours and Sarah's and some other people's. He's like, "There's no way you would get US team members to do this."
Liz, I need you to do a song about Cape Fear. Real quick, I want to get back to Dallas' question. Sorry, man, I was just distracted. I saw you, didn't even see the question. But so top things VAs can help with, and honestly, it really just depends on what you're looking to task them with. And obviously, Ronnie, she is doing all the calls. She's doing other tasks for me. You did what about a couple weeks of just doing outbound calls for multifamily properties, and then you would follow up with an email with those. What are some other things you're doing with us?
So I'm doing outbound calls. Recently I did like calling apartment complexes, offering our February promo. And then I also did the outbound for the sales boost. Also receiving calls for customers inquiring about the service for both Cape Fear Pro Wash and Patriot Elimination. Uh, yeah, and checking in with the emails, but mostly for the leads for the email part.
Yeah. So that's some things that Ronnie does. Sarah, she's my integrator. She's helping out with sales and working out all the metrics for those on the sales process of things.
I would say the most important one is, I call it filling the holes, plugging the holes of the boat, that you are not missing any communication in that customer service role. That one, are the phones being answered by somebody other than you when you're on a sales call or out in the field? So somebody that is always answering the phone, no calls are missed. And then is able to follow those, like, do you have a tight system of following up with those leads? So the lead was given, an estimate was given. Are those people being followed up continuously until there's a no? Somebody touching clients with a happy call afterwards. So somebody really in your CRM, making sure everything is followed up with to the maximum. Other things that people do help with marketing, make sure that you have a strong online organic presence. It's more important than ever now. You have to post several times a day on social media, not just once. Helping with basic SEO things like weekly blog articles, geotagging pictures to your Google My Business. Those are some easy tasks that can be done. A lot of virtual assistants do some bookkeeping, whether they're doing bill pay or invoicing, accounts receivable. Email marketing is another great one.
Yeah, so pretty much anything that doesn't involve moving paper in your office, they can fill that role. I truly think that, as an owner operator, as a young entrepreneur, the most critical role to hire early on in your business is the admin, to answer the phones, follow up with the emails, send the invoices, and do all those things. And we always think that we have to have somebody in the office, and some of us didn't even have offices back in the day. So being able to not only work with Unique Genius and get like a critical role filled in your company at a fairly fast rate. I mean, Angela's team, they're doing all the screening. They're going to find the greatest candidate for you, and then onboard them with you within a week.
Yep, within
a week, you're not dealing with Indeed. You're not dealing with Facebook ads. All those resumes are going through, setting up the interviews and all that stuff. So you're getting all that taken care of. So you're saving that time. And then within a week, you're onboarding, training them. They're going to help you build out your SOPs and processes so that when you hire your second person, your third person, it's all built out for you. I hope that answers your question, Dallas. Aaron, here, I'll let you answer this one. Located. So
we're not located in the Philippines. So we're a US-based company. But yes, all of our virtual team members, everybody in the company, besides JC and I, he's the marketing director or whatever he wants to be. Some days he's the CEO, is in the Philippines. All of our high-level leadership team and everyone is in the Philippines, and that's where we source all of our virtual team members.
So, Jeremy, great question. And, when I've talked to the last dozen people in the last 2 weeks about this, here's what I want you to kind of do the math on. And I'll just do simple math. if you're a business owner, and let's just say, again, just simple math, because I'm not smart, I want to do this to make it easy for me. If your closing percentage is 50% and your average ticket is $500, and for every 4 calls you miss, what's the math? How much money are you missing out on? That's $1,000, because you missed 2 or 4 calls. You would have closed 50% of them. It's $1,000. So as an owner operator, let's just say even below the $100,000 range, and we're on the job, we're on the roof, we're talking to the customer, and we're missing those phone calls. If it's me calling a local company and I get a voicemail, I'm going straight to the next person. And then by the time you actually get to follow up with that person and call them back, and it might be the next day, 2 days later, well, they've already found another company. So not only do we pay for that lead to come in, with Google ads, Facebook ads like that. So we paid for that lead. Then we missed the opportunity to serve that customer. Then they went to another client versus hiring somebody virtually to be able to answer that phone call, like Ronnie. Now you're closing down that percentage of missed opportunities, because they're going to be able to answer those phone calls for you, get them scheduled for the estimates, and do those other tasks that you could be devoting your time to working on the company, not in the company. We don't need to be sending off emails. We don't need to do those tedious tasks. We don't need to be doing the Facebook social media things. Like, if as a business owner, we need to be doing high level tasks. And I'm not saying these are like minor tasks, because they're super important, but just things as a business owner that we can delegate to somebody else so that we can focus on other things. So I personally think as fast as you can, get somebody hired, whether it's stateside, it could be local. It doesn't have to be a virtual assistant, but I think that administrative role is the most critical to help you grow your company.
And to your point on the math of, it's $1,000 for 4 missed calls. If you are spending any money at all on leads, so if you are doing Facebook ads, or you are doing yard signs, or doing door hangers, and you have spent any money at all for people to call you, you should back that up. Like, there needs to be an equal partnership there. And if you're spending money on leads, you have to have a system to back that up to get those calls. Otherwise, you're just throwing that money of leads away. So it's something just like that initial someone answering the phone is part of your sales and marketing. Like, you have to, I think, consider, like you did, that it will pay for itself. It's not this just extra expense over here. So I don't think you have to get to a threshold, because you will see that it equally pays for itself by the number of sales that are closed.
Yeah. And it'll help you move that needle even faster by having something there. Ronnie, so tell me, what else do you like about working with us? Like, with a company that's based in the States versus just working locally in the Philippines?
Well, it's given me an opportunity to work from home. That's number one, actually. I'm working from home. I get to spend more time with my family and my dogs. But specifically working with you guys, with Angela's virtual assistant agency, Angela values trust. It's what she always shares with us during our huddle. She values trust, and thus when the company that you work for or you work with values trust and trust you, establishes that they trust you. It's like it's not like a big ask on my part as well, to like make sure that that trust is actually being reciprocated. Like, I'm able to make sure that the job that I'm doing is not because I'm being paid to do it. I'm doing it because Angela trusts me, and that I love to it makes me love what I'm doing. Basically, it makes me love what I'm doing. It doesn't it I'm no longer looking at it as if it's a task that I just have to check it and done, and then I go to sleep. So yeah, that's the biggest part of why I chose to stay basically with Angela. I have a friend who worked for Angela, who shared a lot basically, and that's why I decided to apply in the first place, because I've heard a lot of good stories, and having to experience that firsthand is the reason why I stayed.
Yeah. Yay. And that's our goal, is that I just got off a call with a potential client saying that our goal is twofold. Like, I feel like my personal mission and the goal of mission of Unique Genius is twofold, in helping business owners learn to love their business and their lives again. by being able to get the right and appropriate help in their business, and to, in the Philippines, give people an opportunity for like a career-based opportunity that, like you said, is based on trust, provides security for you, and that you get to have a client that you partner with that gives you a sense of purpose and a mission. That is, I mean, you said it perfectly, Ronnie, that it's not just a job that you feel like I'm checking off a to-do list and then I'm going to bed and I'm exchanging my time for money and checking things off the list, that you really feel like you're growing in a career and, you know, have a mission and purpose, not only in our organization and being a part of our tribe and family, but also partnering with JC and knowing like what you're doing makes a difference in your team's success.
It is.
Yay.
Hold on, I'm trying to get I'm gonna get Liz on here real quick. We'll get Liz to join us too. Yay.
All happy thoughts. I'm telling you, if we would have thought sooner about the karaoke thing, Ronnie, we could have had you sing on this. People would have really had an adventure. You're like, no, that was not part of the deal. Do not make me sing.
Right.
Let me answer this question for you.
Yes. It depends on experience and the role that you are wanting them to fill. So besides home service, we have VAs that are CPAs working in very advanced roles in CPA firms. So yeah, it depends on like certifications and experience in the role that you want them to fulfill.
All right. Liz is jumping on here in a second, but here she is. All right. So we'll bring Liz on. Yay. Hello, Liz.
Hi, favorite three people. How are you?
Doing good.
Doing good.
All right, Liz. So since you're the one that really had the primary role in helping train Ronnie and onboarding her, do you want to talk about that process? Because it's not like I didn't do it during the busiest time of your season or anything like that.
Threw it right in there. Ronnie was a pleasure to train, and I hopped on a few minutes after y'all started. But I remember you coming to me a couple of times before and saying, you know, I think we should do this virtual. I think we should do this virtual. And I said, I don't know about that. You know, I don't know that I could do something virtual. But we decided to talk with Angela, and we had a couple stipulations as far as, you know, we wanted someone that was going to fit, you know, with us, fit and understand kind of what we did and did it. Because, you know, the clients are super important, especially those Christmas lights clients. You know, see, I got the Patriot shirt on today, so I'm representing here.
Christmas lights in the background.
Yeah, there you go. So we had some stipulations for Angela as far as, you know, we wanted someone, and Ronnie, you fit the bill perfectly. We wanted someone that could speak clearly to our clients. Not that we wanted them not to think that she was in the Philippines or anything to, you know, in regards to that, we didn't really care. But we wanted her to be able to speak clearly and concise to our clients and be able to portray us. And like Angela had said, you know, when you're out of the office, you want somebody answering those phone calls. And Angela picking and finding Ronnie for us and then saying, just hop on the phone and see what you think of her. So I got on that first phone call with Ronnie, and I don't know if JC was in the office that day and I had my headset on, but I was like, I think she might work. Like, she sounded really good and she was friendly and she was upbeat, and that smile, she always, and I know our clients can't see it, but always is smiling.
You can hear it though. You can tell the difference if someone's smiling or not.
Yes, just like when I went to that admin boot camp, I remember them saying, you know, put a mirror next to your computer, and before you answer the phone, look at yourself, see what you look like. Because if you answer the phone like this, you're going to sound miserable. But if you answer your phone with a smile like Ronnie's, you know, it's always going to sound happy and upbeat. And like I said, okay, so back to training. So Ronnie was a pleasure to train. He picked up things really, really quickly. And one really good thing that I like, not just about Ronnie, but the virtual assistants in general, is like, if you tell them to do something or you ask them to do something in a specific way, that is how they're going to do it until you say, oh, hold on, we have to do it this way now. So that's super important. They are quick to understand, quick to learn. Ronnie was super quick to learn and understand us, how we do things, our clients, and how important servicing them and you know, being on top of things and not letting things slide through the crack, and her being able to work on those weekends when it was so super important to us, and in the evenings when we weren't available, that was super important to have Ronnie. So really good that she was able to jump in and do those weird hours for us. So. And she's always a pleasure. And if she has a problem, we use Slack so quickly between the two of us. It's on my computer on my second screen. And as soon as I see Ronnie, and then even if I leave the office, I can do it from my phone. So I can answer her questions pretty immediately.
Love it. Good stuff. So anybody join us, if you want to ask any questions about virtual assistants, now's the time. We got Ronnie on here. Liz is the one, my admin rock star in the office who was able to train her and make success for our company with the two of you two now running the phones.
I love you were honest about hesitancy in the beginning, and that's a lot of people. That's a lot of our clients have this doubt of, all right, I guess I'll try, but I have this preconceived notion. I'm already going to tell you it's not going to work. This is never going to work for somebody to answer the phone. And you said, like, even though you don't mind the accent a little, like, let's be honest, like JC said, like, there's nothing worse than trying to call for help and it sounds like Mike from India and you can't understand. So it is important. Ronnie has a great voice, not just the attitude, but does speak very clear and concise. And that's important. We might, as business owners and people in the business, say, oh, we don't judge if there's a little accent, but our clients do. Like if there is too much and they can't understand, our clients automatically like shut off.
Yeah, and they don't trust us. Absolutely. Yeah. And you know what is another good thing is not only Ronnie speaks super clearly, but I don't think, and Ronnie can correct me if I'm wrong, because I haven't listened to every one of her phone calls throughout the season, but I don't think we had one client say, let me talk to someone in the office. Like, I don't think. Now, Ronnie would tell people, and I know only because of her end of day reports, which again, Angela, you said were so good and they are very nice and detailed, but in her end of day report, she would say, I told them that they would have to wait and hear from the office tomorrow, which is so different than leaving a voicemail with a company and then the company calling you back the next day. Because like you said, JC, you're going to hop on the next call, the next one on Google, the next one down. You're going to call the next company. But just getting that voice on the other end of the phone and saying, I know you have a question. I can't answer that question, but I'm going to get you an answer. And then us calling the next day. I don't think we've lost any clients with that happening because they actually had a voice answering the phone, and not just a voice answering the phone, but one that kind of knew our company, wasn't working for 30 other companies at the same time. So she knew our company in and out. So that's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very critical part about having you full-time with us is you get to understand our company. You get to understand the culture. You get to feel all that and portray that with the clients, especially with the Christmas lights. Like, if you're just calling like, it's Patriot Elimination, how can we help you today? Like it's scripted at that point. But for you, it's like, hey, thanks for calling Patriot Elimination. This is Ronnie. How may I help you? And then it just flows and you start talking about it and you're getting excited about the lights because I know the Filipino culture, you guys love Christmas. So it makes it easier for you to even want to talk about Christmas lights. And it just goes a long way with our customers as they're calling instead of like, great, I got a call center. Yep. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with call centers, but if you're trying to like build value and trust in your clients, just having that first phone call is going to set the tone for the entire experience of that customer journey.
And like, I know Angela mentioned it, we did have customers with issues with their holiday lights. And at, 6 o'clock at night or whatever it may be, when their lights had gone on and they were home from work and they had a bulb out, they didn't have to wait till the next day. Ronnie was able to, go through and troubleshoot with them, like Angela had mentioned, and help them. Yes, they had to wait for us to get our crews back out there, but at least they felt heard in that moment. They didn't have to wait till they went to work the next day and had to make, step out of their job and make a phone call to us. They were able to tell Ronnie what was going on, and Ronnie was able to, facilitate it and get it to me so that I could get the crews out there and get it handled.
And that is, I'm glad you echoed that one, Liz, because when we all have a problem with something, we just want to be heard. Like we just want to be heard. So to have somebody on the other end that was representing the company, having some empathy, that I'm sorry, your Christmas lights doesn't work. That's all the person really wants. They're fine waiting until tomorrow. But the difference in being, and probably more for women than men, but the difference in somebody hearing me and, that empathy means it completely changed my attitude instantly to the error versus I had to leave a voicemail and I am pissed all night. By the time I'm talking to somebody in the morning, I've told all my friends.
And not only was she say, you know, Mrs. Jones was able to call and speak with someone, but she had an answer and she had a remedy, and it didn't have to wait for us to call her, you know, the next day, because Ronnie had already put the process into motion at that first phone call. Just like get leads and Ronnie's able to touch them, like JC's like, I want these done right away. And I was like, we'll get to them as quickly as we can, but we do. And having Ronnie be that second person to, you know, call those online leads or call those leads, they're not waiting. They're getting a call in 5 minutes. And then, you know, they're being facilitated right away. They're not waiting and they're getting an answer. Unlike a call center call because you had an issue, then they can just take a message for you. So Ronnie knows our company. She knows how to put that wheel into motion, get the process started. So I think it's super important. And I love my Ronnie.
Liz,
Love
I
you
think
too.
you have your accent is thicker than Ronnie's.
All right. Well, we're
For a New Yorker, it's yeah. You have your words and so do I.
that's right. Right.
Water.
Well, it could be worse.
We still love you. Okay. All right, Ronnie. I don't want to keep you. I know you've got things you got to do. I want to thank you so much for jumping on. Liz, you're incredible. We love you. And we'll see you in a couple days.
All right.
So,
thank you.
all right,
Thank
Ronnie,
you for having me as well.
Bye.
Right, take care.
Guys.
And then bump them out. All right. So you got to hear Ronnie speak and just kind of talk about her experience as a virtual assistant in the Philippines. And again, I had the same concerns that some of you might have, which was like the dialect, the accent, all that stuff. Are they going to be able to understand the company? Can they answer the calls from the Philippines? And yes, they can, they will. And truly, they probably do it better than most people in the United States. And, you know, talking with Ronnie about her love for the company, love for working with Unique Genius, you know, they're all bought in. They want to grow with you personally and professionally. So it is a definite alternative to hiring somebody local. Again, you don't have to worry about doing the interviews, which is a pain in the ass. You have 5 people set up for an interview, only 2 show up, and then they're not even qualified. Then you have to hire, fire, train over and over and over, or just go with Unique Genius Virtual Assistants. They take care of all that ugly mess of finding the right candidate for you, and you'll be placed within a week. So you're buying all that time back that you'd be wasting. Talk about
just for the admin side of things. So we can talk about that price, like somebody just answered, they vary based on experience. And so when you say just the admin side of things, again, that means a lot of different things to a lot of different home service people. If they want somebody who is like a certified QuickBooks Pro and is doing a lot of high level accounting things. So send us a direct message and we can let you know about that. There is no upfront cost to work with us. So there's no, many agencies have a large upfront cost to find you a virtual assistant. We believe in helping you in the long term. So there is no initial cost to get started with us. We believe in like a long-term partnership and partnering with your success. And there are no long-term contracts. We want to work with you. I know both of those things don't seem like it makes much business sense. JC asked me several times, like, why would you not do these things it makes so much more sense for a business, but we really want to help small business owners and we take the risk and take the risk out of it for you.
And the one thing we didn't talk about though, if you hire somebody, let's just say, Brandon, you want to hire somebody for admin doing those types of things, and then you've got like a task that they're not really like an expert in or familiar with, that virtual assistant can go back to the Unique Genius team and say, hey, Brandon wants us to do a landing page, or he wants us to build out this form on Jotform or something like that. They'll work with Angela's team and have somebody build that out for you. So you're not going to have a separate virtual assistant just to go get that task or go on Fiverr and deal with that mess. Like they'll work with the team internally to set you up for success of that. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go do like 20 landing pages a day and expect to get them all every time, but those one-off tasks that your virtual assistant isn't so familiar with, they can do that for you.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool benefit. That's why it's great to have a virtual assistant within a community instead of just placing a virtual assistant on Upwork or online jobs, because one, you got to filter through all the mess. And if anybody's ever gone on online jobs or Upwork and filled out a job description, you've got like 500 resumes coming to you within an hour, and then you got to filter through all of them. Half of them are bullshit. Then you got to interview them, and then you got to hire them. Then they stink, so you got to fire them, start all over again. And then it might be working for 4 more companies and not your company full time. So at least when they're with a Unique Genius team, they are yours full time, onboarded, working with Unique Genius too. For sure. I'll get you in a chat, Brandon, with Angela here when we get off, and you can talk about that. That's the best hire you can make, honestly, as you're trying to grow your company, especially when you're about to be real busy the next month or two. Out washing, you're not gonna have time to answer those phones. And like I talked about earlier, for every 4 phone calls you're missing, you're losing out on a possibility of $1,000. So that $1,000 almost paid for that person full time, 40 hours a week for the whole entire month. So, all right, that's all. We've been on for 45 minutes, 22 seconds. We're in a log cabin, some mysterious place.
This is. I was looking. It kind of looks like it could be a virtual background.
Oh yeah,
but it's not. This is real life.
It's real life. I thought we were in the Matrix. No. All right, we're out. Thanks.